Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello, everybody. Hey, how are we? It's great to be here today. Talking about Finding Santa, the 2017 Hallmark classic. Very excited about that. Big weekend this weekend, and I got to ask you, Brian, where you're at on your Signed, Sealed, Delivered journey. As you know, this Friday, new Signed, Sealed, Delivered movie. Yeah. You talked about how you kind of want to dip your feet in the water, prepare yourself. I know you have nothing but time.
Fully immersed in the
ample time. You're not up against a schedule with your other job at all.
No.
It's all Signed, Sealed, Delivered all the time.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Actually, I did start this.
Whoa!
I forgot about it this weekend, which I didn't because I had some downtime.
I forgot about it this weekend, which I didn't. Because I wish I didn't.
I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't.
Write the script for Brian today?
Wish I had not forgotten about
Did
this.
you forget it or did you not forget it?
I forgot to continue watching it this weekend.
Okay.
But
when did you start it?
I forget, man. I don't know. What
day is
it? 1.5.
Okay, so
I've watched one and a half.
We're going to need a different. It's clearly Aaron for the third chair, right?
You said I need to see 1, 2, the Christmas, and then something else?
I was joking.
Okay. Oh, I got to see them all.
Postables are. I don't know if you know this about the Postables.
I'm not seeing them all. Yeah.
They're pretty serious, Brian.
Why?
They just are. Because trust the timing, Brian. Trust the timing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or Aaron can just sit right here.
I think I got it. I think they're overreacting a little bit. I think I got it.
I'm going to go ahead and say Brian's not on the episode because we don't need any. Are we going to get to do Postman of the Week, Post Person of the Week?
Yeah, we'll do Postal
Worker of the Week. That's the thing.
I sent one of those in one time.
Did you
as
really?
a regular listener?
Yeah, you did.
Back
I'm sure
in
those are the days.
Ace was his name.
Ace.
He was a real guy. My best friend's dad who passed away.
They're all real, Brian. What do you
I know. I mean, real. Like I knew him.
He was a real guy.
Like I knew him.
We have a segment where we talk about people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And for you to say he was a real person, that implies that they're not all real.
No, I know I don't want postable heat. Okay, I don't need this. I admire you did. Yeah, pretty good, pretty intense, man.
Oh my goodness.
The price of the tickets going up.
They are. You're right. I got into 30 the seller show.
Yes.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, I think they're going up to what is it like 60?
Yeah, 65. Yeah.
Too much, whatever.
Too much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I know it doesn't sound like a lot for a ticket,
but for dueling electric violins,
it's a lot.
Should we boycott?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go again.
I don't think we should do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we should either.
They did mostly yellow card covers. It was crazy.
That is a stamp bit at home, and I don't think a lot of people are going to give us the credit we deserve. It was a good bit.
Great bit.
A good bit. Speaking of bits, join us at Bramblefest. It's coming up. Bramblefest presented by visitgreenvillesc.com.
I keep wanting to say the city of Greenville, but it is visitgreenvillesc.com.
We love them. We love them. We love our city. And one of my favorite parts of Bramblefest, there's so many to choose from, but just knowing that people are coming from across the country to our little city of Greenville, South Carolina. Yeah, that one makes me really happy. I love that people get to experience Greenville, and it is such a great city that some people have just moved here because of their experience.
The people actually moved to Greenville. It's that wonderful.
It's crazy, isn't
Why
it?
wouldn't you?
Weird.
Yeah.
Greenville is big on TikTok right now. There's a couple.
Greenville's big on TikTok.
I didn't know about this.
All right, what is the deal with the tall guy?
How tall are you?
What's the deal with the tall guy? Why do I need to care about this tall guy?
Because TikTok cares. He fell in love on air, and it was so sweet and
on
magical.
Air.
They were like filming a video on her Instagram or her TikTok, whichever.
Thank you.
Media.
First of all,
come on.
And just like their chemistry was flowing, and they were like flirting, and they were just not.
Well, that altitude.
They were not there to like meet up in a romantic way. They were just there to co-collaborate on some content. But then he asked her out, and they've just been living this whirlwind romance. And sometimes they're in Greenville because he lives here. And so
Where does he live in Greenville? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He didn't give his address out.
That was a trick, and you
I
passed.
did
Good
not
job.
stalk him. He seems to be in a happy relationship, so I know boundaries, guys.
You sure do.
I
I
know
know.
that he sometimes is outside Cantina 76, and that's all I know.
And the Swamp
But
Rabbit
you know what?
Cafe.
Man, that's very clear.
What were you? Is that what you were talking about? That Greenville's big on TikTok.
Yeah, it's a big deal right now.
Yeah.
A lot
Big
of
and
people-
tall.
Yeah, big and tall.
Big and
tall on
Lots
tall
of
on
people know
TikTok.
about it. It's hot right
Tall
now.
on TikTok. Is that called Tall Talk?
No.
TikTok?
No.
I have
This
seen
is-
Tall Talk, TOK.
That's exactly
I've seen
right.
Tall Talk as a hashtag.
Thank you. People don't think
People
I get
think
it.
that you don't get the TikTok.
People think I don't understand it. I don't get the appeal and stuff. Oh, I get it.
Obviously.
Should we talk about Finding Santa?
A Christmas classic for the ages.
It's Jodie Sweetin. How
Yeah,
rude.
Yeah.
How rude.
It's true.
And it's on Hallmark Movies now, so there's that.
Great app.
Honestly,
Stop it.
good experience this
Saved
week.
me a number of
Yeah,
times.
I will say this.
I had a good safe. You always say it saves you. I had a good safe experience.
I tried to.
Which is what you want from your apps.
Yes.
I tried to log in, and it was like log in from your phone, and it wouldn't let me. It kept just refreshing the screen
No, you don't use
on
your
my
phone for
TV,
that.
and because it was so much easier than having to type it in on
yeah.
the screen.
Well,
So-
that's you can't skip. You can't try to
can't-
skip
no,
steps.
it's
You know
It's
what makes
just
me mad about
put in
the
the time.
app is
So much makes me mad about the app, and normally it's unsafe too. That's the thing.
They
They
with
sell your data. It's
you know,
crazy.
with a Roku,
Not my
you
data.
can just use the arrows and it will go backwards. But in this
Not-
one, they have this little hooker thing that
don't have a little hooker.
that I see
Yeah.
that
It is
little.
unsafe.
Speaking of safe.
I see the little hooker arrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you go back to the beginning. No,
No.
that's how you go back 10 seconds. The
Yeah.
button to go back to the beginning is a different button.
different button. It's
Different
another
hooker.
door.
Yeah.
Finding Santa, November 24th, 2017. And I want a little something with this. Grace is all about that Christmas. About that Christmas. No Easter. I wrote it down too.
Yeah, that's good. Man.
It was a thing I
It was
pre-wrote.
very good.
It was
No Easter?
It was a pre-planned.
It was a
bit.
pre-planned. All
I mean,
about
what
that
other holiday
base
are you gonna
bit.
say?
No Easter. Yeah, I thought it was
So cool, dude.
Thank you, Dan. A lot of people might think that you were being snarky, sarcastic there.
I wasn't.
You weren't. You thought it was real cool, man.
I thought it was so cool.
Hashtag tall talk.
Tall Talk.
Paul talk.
She runs a year-round Christmas store, and it rules. There's snow and stuff. She's organizing the Christmas parade for the first time, and it's going to be a big deal. The network is involved.
The network.
The network is involved, and it's pretty serious. And she has nothing to worry about because they have the perfect Santa Tom. And one day, Santa Tom is exiting his sleigh when he slips on some snow and breaks his arm. So, unfortunately, Santa Tom, he's out. He's out of commission.
Yeah,
he
you
can't
can't
be
do it
Santa
with
You
a broken arm.
You can't
No.
do it. Kids will be asking questions. You can't have that. And so, they hold auditions for Santa, and it does not go well. Really, the only option is the mayor's son, and he womps. And so that's when Tom's wife, Holly, recommends their son, Ben. Tom is like, I want to get your hopes up. Ben's anti-Santa.
What?
Did you write that too?
I
what?
want to get your homes up.
I don't want to get your hopes up. He's anti-Santa, but Grace tries anyway, and Ben is
Or an
like,
Easter fan.
I am. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm not.
No.
I'm not a Santa. I'm a writer. And everyone knows the first rule of writing is only write. You don't do anything else. You don't fill your time with a lot of things and then write everything last second. You don't do that. You write. So she ends up giving another pitch to him. This time in person. She drives all the way to Boston, to pitch it in person. It does not go well. So afterwards, she calls an Uber. Turns out it's him, and is like, hey, you got to give me a ride. And when she gets into his car, she changes the destination to their hometown. It's a good trick. Would that work, Dan? As somebody who's done Uber, would that work if somebody just changes their location when they get in the car?
Destination, yeah.
I think not now. It wouldn't. In 2017, it would have because you didn't know the destination until you picked them up. At least maybe that was
What?
2015. When Uber came here in 2015, I drove for it, and you didn't know where you were going until you picked them up.
That's crazy.
But now they know beforehand.
No, beforehand.
Yes.
But you can't change it once you're in the car. You can't
No,
change it.
I think that's it. You can ask, but I don't think they're
You can
gonna
ask it. So they
You can
show
dance if you
up,
want.
and the parents are like, "Yay, Ben's gonna be Santa!" And Ben is like, no, I'm not going to be Santa. It was a big trick. I thought I'd say hi. I thought I would help you. I thought you needed help. I need to write. So she goes to a coffee shop, and Grace is there as well, and is like, maybe even bake cookies with me, decorate. There's no pressure. You don't have to be Santa, but you can do fun things. So Ben is like, all right, I'll do that, but he wants to leave. He can't stay in the town. Everyone knows, busiest time of the year for Uber drivers, so you need to get back to Boston. So they start heading back. Obviously, she needs to go with him because she actually did have a car, and she left it in Boston. So while you're going back, I'll hitch a ride with you. And they're talking, and they're having a good time. They're enjoying each other's company, but they have to stop halfway due to a big storm, big snow time, at a friend of hers' house. And I got to say, what a cabin. What a cabin.
What a cabin.
What a snow.
What a cabin.
It's wonderful. And it is at this point that Ben does something that he swore he would never do. He plays Santa. He plays Santa for these kids, and
I'm coming home.
I know. And he's pretty darn good at it. He's pretty darn good at Santa. So they're pumped. They're loving it. So the next day they get back, and Grace is like, hey, let's head back. Let's head back. And so they go back to a small town, and it's at this point that he ultimately, after some Christmas shenanigans, agrees to be Santa. But it doesn't last long, folks, because he overhears her telling somebody that he agreed to be Santa, and he's like, you're telling people?
Yeah, this is the worst.
He gets mad. He's like, you only made me like you, and you like me. It was all a charade to get me to play Santa. Gets super mad about it. What's that?
The stakes are so high.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Higher.
So the bad news is he is now out as Santa. He's heading back to Boston. We're going back to Boston. Whoa! And the mayor's son is now going to be Santa. And he is terrible. He's terrible. And last minute, what do you know? Ben does show up. He says, get out of here. This is my sleigh now, kid. Gets into the Santa's costume. He does the parade. The parade, good parade. Take the Hallmark.com/parade. It's amazing. Afterwards, he's playing Santa. Kids are sitting on his lap. You know the deal. And she's like, hey, Ben, it's me. Let's talk. And he's like, ho, ho, ho. No, get away. She doesn't get the hint that he's playing Santa at this moment, and so she goes to mope on a bench. He comes up and he's like, "Hey, man, sorry, I was playing Santa. You guys know the rules. You can't I can't just be talking about. I had a kid on my lap." She's like, "Oh, I totally missed it. I done goofed." They kiss, which is great. Fast forward 11 months, he proposes to her, and also, his book is here, and that, my friends, was Finding Santa.
Which you just glossed over. He wrote a kid's book.
He wrote a kid's book.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
A kid's book about Christmas? Like maybe one called Kramer 2, Camera 1, maybe one called...
Try a different camera.
When's it going to be Christmas again?
Again?
Good.
Maybe one like that?
That's a good
Camera
book.
3?
Good gloss.
That's why you didn't change
Good
it.
gloss. You can get that right now. That's crazy. That's nuts. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about Finding Santa and so much more, I think. Here on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Hallmark.
You did the old rat occasionally, like twice, 3 times a year. You're just like, here, Deck the Hallmark.
Yeah, sorry. I get excited.
okay. No,
Sometimes I get
you're
excited.
pumped.
I get excited. I'm excited to talk about Finding Santa.
We should have been at your level. That was
we
our
weren't.
fault.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll get there for the
thinking
next
of
one.
that
The
book.
next break, you guys we're gonna all be together.
Yeah,
We're gonna
I
be
love
pumped.
it.
We're talking about Finding Santa. We're gonna start with a hot take. We're gonna share exactly how we felt about this movie. Brian, had you seen this movie before, 2017? And what did you think about it?
I have not seen the movie before 2017. I didn't see it before 2024 either. It was great to see Jodie Sweetin back on the screen.
I know you love Jodie Sweetin. I don't know if I need to bring back.
No.
Oh my gosh.
What was the
Cozy
movie?
Christmas Inn.
Cozy Christmas
Cozy
Inn.
Christmas Inn. Whew, really did a number on me.
Oh no.
He's a Jeep guy. Give him a break.
Yeah,
everybody.
man.
He's getting
Go
ducked.
Ducky. Go Tigers. Yeah, great to see her. I guess I didn't realize how much I like Jodie Sweetin until like I see her again. I'm like, oh man, it feels good. It feels good to be back home. I really like this movie and the the premise of the child of Santa wanting nothing to do with that life, getting out of the game. And I thought that was a really funny premise. And the fact that he's like a phenom at Santaing makes it even better. So really cool idea. I feel like we could have gone more bonkers. Clint, the mayor's son there, pretty funny idea for him to be a mess.
Just be terrible at Santa.
And just the nepotism, like his expectation of just, I get to do this, right? Like,
He's the son of the mayor.
So, yeah, son of the mayor. Son of a mayor's son. Very funny idea. At the end of the movie, I was actually ready for another. And the next movie that came on automatically, I watched it for a little bit. So I think that's
Finding Easter Bunny.
I forget. It was the one, another Jodie Sweetin with Andrew Walker. The candy cane.
Yeah, the candy cane one. Yes. Mary something.
Marion Bright.
That's it.
So I think it's a sign that it was a good movie and I liked it. The fact that I wanted to stick around, watch another Christmas movie. And so it kind of got me into the Christmas and July season, I feel like.
Welcome, buddy.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, I agree. I like this movie a lot. I really enjoy it.
What a take.
I think it's just a good time. I think it's sweet. And is a large part of me liking this movie is the cabin? Maybe. It's hard to say. But does this movie give me Christmas feels? It does. I also like Jodie Sweetin. It's always good to see her. She's one of those ones that we don't see all the time. And so when we do, it does feel like a little special treat because she's really good at these. And the guy, was he a Sam Page knockoff? Sure he was.
Dude,
but
he is not a knockoff. He is Sam Page, but better. Sam Page this guy act circles around Sam Page. It's not even close. He got an ABC show in prime time. That's why he didn't do any more Hallmark movies.
Okay, Dad. Sure.
He got an ABC show with Nathan Fillion in prime time. He's way better than Sam Page. Act like you're some Sam Page stand down there.
I am.
Notoriously. Name me all the big ones.
one where he's the photographer that I love that movie. And you guys all didn't like it.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Huh? I don't know the name of any of these.
But he loved it.
I know you guys know I don't know names.
So this guy, the other guy's a knockoff. This guy.
You act like getting an ABC show's the end all be all. Has Danny DeVito ever had an ABC show?
Danny DeVito? He's
Has he
a
ever
movie
had
star. That's
Has he
better.
ever had it? I can't win with this guy.
This guy's name's Eric Winter, and Sam Page is an Eric Winter knockoff. I said what I said.
But you hated Eric.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
In what?
He is in, I can't think of the name of it, but he's in that movie with his like real life girlfriend where they're making something about cooking, and you guys didn't like that movie.
Sounds terrible. I mean, I'm not saying,
look that up while we.
You hear what I'm saying, not what I'm not saying. I'm not putting him in the upper echelon of Hallmark leading dudes. I'm saying he's better than Sam Page. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this guy.
He's the son. He's the son of
the preacher man.
Is that
Son of a
Sandra
preacher.
Bullock?
No.
In what world?
A Taste of Summer. Don't get Dan
this
started.
guy.
A Taste of Summer. Yeah. I couldn't tell you.
Not for the life of me can I remember what
What
that
year
was.
was this?
The 2019.
Ooh, yeah. I
One moves to
definitely
Bright
remember
Shore,
that.
where she was in the
Massachusetts.
restaurant.
Who wrote
and
this?
Food festival.
He only does Massachusetts.
He only does
shows.
Massachusetts movies. Give me Sam Page. Although I like this guy. I like this movie a lot. Dan, I know you didn't like it, so just go ahead.
How do you know I didn't like it?
Because I can tell.
Do you not
your whole
believe in
demeanor.
in Christmas spirit?
No,
over there?
your demeanor. I can tell.
So 2017 for TV Christmas movies, the year before we started this podcast, I consider to be a golden year for TV Christmas movies. All the following aired during 2017. Brand, get ready for all your reactions. Bramble House Christmas aired. Christmas Train aired. Christmas Getaway, Travis Van Winkle in the cabin. Rocky Mountain Christmas.
What was that?
And top 5 all time for me, Snowed In Christmas on Lifetime. All of those movies
And Crandall's Big Christmas.
Crandall's
Time.
Big Christmas, which we don't count that because it's a variety show. but
Oh my God, it was so good.
still.
honk honk.
So yeah. So all
was
of
a
those,
clown.
and then there's some other lesser ones. The Christmas Next Door, the movie with Jesse Metcalf and the very loud walls.
Yeah, I do like that movie, though.
Maggie's Christmas
Yeah.
Miracle, Luke McFarlane. Like one of the Father Christmas movies.
Yeah, 2017 was a great year.
So 2017 is
Amazing
a
year.
year of bangers if you like these movies. This movie's not one of them. There's a reason that we are in year 6 and we've gotten to all the movies I've named. We've watched 10 movies from 2017 and not this one. There's a reason it fell. It isn't a diamond in the rough. It's just not as good. The big reason it's not as good has nothing to do with Jodie Sweetin or Eric Winter, who I both think are more than capable. It is the fact that, and I watched this.
It's an ABC show.
ABC's you got it. You
I love
understand.
ABC.
Ask
Always
any
be
actor,
counting.
ask any of those actors if they'd rather be on The Rookie on ABC or doing 2 of these movies a year, and they'll all tell you they'll be on The Rookie. Every one of them.
Doesn't mean it's right though.
I'm just saying.
You,
it's a
Dan's
step up.
always like whatever everybody else says is the right thing to go, and
That's
I go,
not true.
no, sir.
All I know
Fight
is this,
against the
is
oppression.
I watched this with 2 sick 8-year-old boys, and the fact that this movie is called Finding Santa has a Santa Claus who is legendary, and they never bring in the magic of Santa Claus in this movie. This movie is held firm to the fact that all Santas are just people acting like Santas and Santa isn't real. It devastated my children. It was a riot to watch as they kept on going, but when Santa's showing up, no, that's just another dude in a beard. This movie, for all the movies that go magic, just a little twinkle, a little something where it's like, oh, he knew all along or whatever. This movie is like, no, Santa's a man with a red suit on who goes about his business when Christmas is over. And I thought that was bold for this movie in 2017.
Yeah. Dan looked at his
And
kids and
it's
said, see?
Yes.
See?
No, every year, it is a point of contention in my household. I am not here to ruin Santa for my child, but I'm not going to tell them that Santa's real because I'm not going to lie to my kids. And so for me, I say, it's cool to make believe about Santa. It's cool to pretend about Santa. If you want to believe in Santa, that's great. I say all those things. This movie was like the absolute uppercut to my kid. Me taking it easy, bobbing and weaving, trying not to deliver that punch. And all of a sudden, this movie shows up and my kid, I have a picture of him watching it. He is absolutely.
Yeah, but for
what
every
in
one
the
of
world?
these, there's one where there's magic. So just so you know, he's going to have a chance. He's going to
Look
have
at
a
him.
chance.
Was that the stomach bug though talking?
he's-
or-
No, he didn't have the stomach bug. He was just home in
He's peed right the
moral
hell off.
support.
He's
He's
peed
peed right the
Yeah.
hell off.
So I can't believe there was no Santa magic in this movie. It could have been fun and cool, and instead it was this weird movie where the guy that left should have left. He didn't want to be Santa. The girl that stayed should have also left. She didn't really did this. She did this for her parents. She wants to be a painter. And she stayed, and then at the end of this movie, there's a weird trade 'em up, and it's like, why are you coming home to be Santa? I don't know. This movie did not work for me aside from the 2 leads, who I thought both did a great job.
It's time for all the feels. We're talking about what this movie gives feels. Brian.
You guys remember Nog O'Clock? Oh,
Boy, do
man,
I.
there's so much eggnog in this movie. And
Did we not
for
do
those
Nog
that
O'Clock
don't know,
so
Nog
Christmas in July
O'Clock-
because it's not available anywhere? Is that basically
Yeah, we
it?
could have
Okay.
made it, but
Yeah.
Nog O'Clock
For
we
those
did.
that didn't
yeah,
know.
absolutely. We during the last holiday season,
BrambleJamPlus.com, double-decker tier.
we'd go live every Tuesday-ish.
Yes.
At 1 or whatever
Till
time.
12:30, I think.
No, and
No.
we never did them back to back and skipped a
No.
week. No, so we would do a little eggnog tasting. We tried.
Just right,
I don't
the
know.
three of us. But
Almost.
Brandon's not a big eggnog boy, but
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You know what? I didn't even think about it till you just said it, and now
it was
I
a
miss
lot
it.
of fun.
I
It was a
miss
lot
it.
of fun. We'd go live. We'd try the nog.
I miss you guys talking. Like that was, it was
Yeah.
even fun,
Fun
for
to
me.
be around,
It was
yeah.
fun to be around. Yeah. Go ahead, Aaron. Hello.
Hi. So last night I was really feeling some Christmas in July feels.
were.
I was listening to the Mistletoe soundtrack,
Bobs.
which you can listen to their hot takes this Thursday.
Thank you, Aaron. Great job.
But so I was listening to that, and I was leafing through this little book called "I'll Be Home for Christmas Movies,"
heard of
and there
it.
was a recipe in the back picked by one Daniel Thompson for eggnog, and I was like, "Man, I miss 9
Really?
o'clock." Yeah,
Did we try to make it? Thank you. That's
we did
perfect.
not, but it's on my list now. For
and
9
I
o'clock.
picked that out in the book, huh?
You don't. You remember that?
Oh yeah,
You
no, of
remember
What does
course.
that mean? You picked it out. What does that?
Yeah.
It just has.
I
I don't know
think-
if it picked. It's just got Dan talking about it.
Yeah, we all talk about a recipe, Brand.
Yeah,
don't
and
you know
Dan
that?
talks about the.
I
Why
didn't
didn't
know
we
that.
try that? We should have made it. We should do
We
a
should have
special.
totally
nog
made
club.
it.
So
It's clearly my favorite eggnog.
Yeah, obviously. All the
Well,
eggnog.
there's also for the cookies. It talks about how much Dan loves baking cookies when people come over to his house, and knowing
He's
Dan
known
now,
for that, yeah.
I loved that.
Every time we
paragraph.
go
Yeah,
Because Dan's huge on inviting people over.
Huge and baking.
like
and
cookies,
baking.
it
Yeah.
means steak.
Yeah.
Make our that's gingerbread for you cookies day in advance so they have time to cool. The morning of a party, whipping up the icing and stock up on jelly beans, gumdrops, and other decorative items. And you and your guests will be turning our cookies into like a regular Jessica Lounge. What?
Cool.
Where's the? I want to see
I think
this.
the eggnog's towards the end. It's one of the last ones.
Okay, it's one of the last ones.
This is good. This is
It's a
good.
great
audio.
idea. Yeah, so
This
this
is really
movie
good
had a
audio.
lot of eggnog, which is unusual for them to go so hard in these movies, and it just reminded me of Nog O'Clock, and also when she made it snow in her store was pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
that was cool. That was cool.
What do you got there, Brand?
Oh yeah, Hallmark understands
Yule
that
nog.
people might need an adult beverage to get through the movies. They make Hallmark Channel wine glasses, and heck, in 2020 they even debuted Hallmark Channel wine. If you're looking for something more, if I got something for you, it's Yule log. The easy version of this recipe is to buy eggnog at a grocery store, pour it into a bowl, and now you've got eggnog. That's
Yeah,
funny.
boy.
That does sound like you did say
Yeah.
that. But if you're one of those people that likes to sweat the details when you throw them.
Thank you,
By
thank
the
you,
book.
Brand. Yeah, you can. You want to know what the rest
For
says?
those of you that are wondering, why didn't the boys do audiobook? We're just sweating the
We
details.
tried, but after 6 weeks, we bagged it.
Yeah.
Bram was on chapter 1, and it was like, well.
My feels is the cabin, specifically the scene where they're sleeping on the couch. It pulls out and it looks out the window. Fire's going. Snow's just coming down outside. Christmas lights are glowing. Woo! That's good. That's good. Give me that aesthetic just on a loop. Give me that right there. I loved that. Gives me all the Christmas feels. Dana,
Snow in the store. The snow in the store works.
it'd be good.
It definitely worked.
How do we not have a snow machine in here yet?
So how
here?
do we, or why don't we?
Both.
There's one above Dan.
Hit it.
Oh, it's we've been told we
It's just more
can't.
asbestos. Really.
We've been told we can't do that. I feel like we should get a snowstorm for this year. Let's just write it down. Write it down. Just maybe an
How
idea.
quickly can we get a snow machine here? Bramblefest.
Re-Bramble.
Oh, within 2 weeks.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you can't get a
100%.
snow machine here in 2 weeks, and what it like?
Is there a version without the soap though, like where it's not a soapy mess that we have to deal with?
Oh,
'Cause
they're
it's-
so.
Dude, are you kidding
Right?
me?
They're so
What?
cheap.
No, we can go bigger.
oh, look at this.
That's all they cost?
We can go
Look
bigger.
at these
he
bad
said.
boys.
Yeah, no, 1,500 watt. What do we got? Let's crank it up a notch.
Ooh,
Oh, snow cone machine. Huh? Huh? Add that to the cart.
1,500 watts, the biggest I see. Somebody, that's 300
look at
watt.
that
We
one
don't
that
want
shoots
300
out.
watt. No. Oh, snow cone?
Look at that thing on to the right. The
No, there we go,
2,000 watt.
2,000.
Shaking head
Shake
fake
it, yeah.
snow.
2,000 watt. See, now we're talking.
And it's under $300.
There's no reviews of it, which makes me nervous.
We'll be the first one.
It's going to be delivered before Bramblefest, though.
We're gonna.
Hey guys, I'm about to go to a break. We'll be right back here on
Take
the
the
Hallmark. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark, presented by Philo. Philo.tv/DTH if you'd like to watch us. So many other things. This show, Philo Deep Dive.
So many other things. This
so many
show.
other things.
If you'd like to
show.
watch us, so many other things. This
Also,
show.
this show. Did he mention this show? This one?
You could watch us, this show,
Yeah.
and Deck the Hallmark,
So
all on
many
Philo.
other- That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We're talking Finding Santa. Let's get to the wait what where we're talking about what in this movie. Let's go. Wait, what? Brian?
Yeah, I got just a few here. When they were driving in his Jeep.
You only have a few. This movie
Yeah.
did make me miss how easy life was for us in 2018.
Back then, yeah.
The wait whats are just so plentiful in this movie. That's why we had to limit how many.
Right.
Because there's
Going
so
crazy.
many in the movie. Sorry, go ahead.
That's right.
In his Jeep, she put on the radio. She put on Christmas music in his radio. And she goes, you guys want to know this. She goes to Kiss 108, 107.9. And I mean,
Shout out. Can I
Shout-outs?
tell you guys how freaking nervous I am about this year? Because Magic's gone. I know Magic moved to 106.3. It's gone altogether now. Who's gonna fill in the blank?
If only there was a way to like play whatever Christmas songs you wanted.
it's
Shove
different. It's
all the way
different.
off.
It's
You
different,
know it's
Dan.
different.
Without
It is a
commercials.
different
It's
thing
different.
altogether.
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
You
Christmas
know
music
it.
on the radio is
You
special.
know it.
Yeah.
You know it, Dan. In your
Sirius
heart of
XM,
hearts, you know.
just
Yeah, of course.
Spotify.
Yes, there are lots of ways.
ChristmasRadioLive.com.
Yeah, that
Absolutely. All I'm saying is there is now a need in the Greenville.
Should we buy a radio station in Greenville?
Boy, have we talked about it.
Before you guys were around, we banded
kicked
it
around
about.
the idea. Kicked around a year-round Christmas station that I know of. There's not an actual terrestrial radio station that does Christmas
Because
music
people
all
are
year.
flocking to terrestrial radio.
I think that it would to be a hit.
All the pods become radio broadcasts.
We've also pitched a show.
already talked about this, Brian.
Well, it's such a good idea. It sounds like 'cause
Yeah.
it's coming back up. So yeah, she does. She does. Put
Everyone
on,
knows the best ideas always come back up. No one's ever brought up a bad idea
Yeah,
more than
if
once.
If somebody
Snow
says it,
machine related. If we go
Yes.
1500 watt at that smaller price, we get two, one for each side of the stage,
obviously.
or three.
Well, we
we
probably
could do
need
three for under
Well, I
$300.
think we need 4 because we need to hit the audience too.
Oh, we do. One on each side. We don't need one
And
in
shoot
the
it
back.
out.
So 3, 2, one on each side, and then one in the front.
Oh, I wish we didn't talk
Where are
about
you
it. And they
mounting
didn't
them?
know.
How are you mounting?
It looks
them?
like they're on the floor.
ground. You shoot up.
I don't know if that's how it works exactly.
That's what the picture.
Yeah,
the
it was-
pictures don't lie on Amazon.
No, you're right. You're right.
Maybe we
Guys,
should try a few different kinds just to see how they.
Go back up.
all
to
the snow machines I've ever seen are in the air. Like,
Well, we could
mounted.
definitely put it up on. We got staging, rigging, right?
We got rid of it all.
Hello.
Rig, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh boy,
I'm
doing
so
good.
glad
Oh.
to
I
hear
can't
your
believe we got him.
voice.
Somebody
I'm
said
so
rigging.
glad to hear your
I'm glad
voice.
to hear my voice too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. I can't
I
believe we got him.
understand that you
Sharon
just
is
got
over there
back.
pointing at something in the calendar.
You
I
just
don't know
got
what
back
she's
from
talking
your
about.
race.
Oh, I've been back, Brad. I don't want to talk about it.
What's
Sounds
wrong,
like it went
bud?
pretty
Oh,
good.
it was a disaster.
Oh, no.
This year's Adirondack race with my rat terriers did not go as planned.
You had a plan?
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
What did
It's
you have
it's
planned, and then
days.
what happened?
It's 9 days. You got to be on your best. And my pups were not. They were bad boys and girls. Tubby was pulling left.
Yep. Yeah.
Shank was pulling right. Skibo had mange.
Living up to his name.
Tub Thumper ate everybody else's dinner. They couldn't perform.
Well,
Three
they get
got
back up
trapped
again,
under
though.
the
They
sled.
got back up again, and that's
They
what's
did.
important.
They did, but I had to bow out. I had to bow out early.
You didn't even get to do the full 9.
I didn't do the full 9. It was, wasn't my year, but
Do
drowned
you
my sorrows with a cake witch burger down at Fitzy's.
do you blame Sandstorm Week or whatever?
Sandstorm Week did take it out of me
Because it was right before the race,
Before
and
doing
that
a
seemed.
9-day sled dog race with rat terriers in the summer in the Adirondacks, probably a mistake.
yeah.
Yeah, it was probably a mistake, and I there's no way for me to tell for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, we don't. It's not Sandstorm anymore. Thank goodness. I don't have to participate. You can't make me. You can't make me. I'm done. I'll see you next year. Don't Sandstorm.
You're back, baby.
Oh, I hate it.
It probably helped, though, right? Feel better?
Did he say cake witch burger?
He did. Yep.
It's
Brian.
2 birthday cakes as buns, burger in between.
I mean, we've had donut burgers, so
Cake
it's
witch
not that
burger.
far.
The
The
next
50
step.
sandwich burger.
It's the next
I love
step.
that. That is the one thing from Fitzy's that you've actually talked about that seems appealing to me. I would do.
Delightful.
Brian, any more? Wait, what?
Well, so she puts on Kiss 108.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Kiss 108 doesn't play Christmas music. It's Magic 106.7. So it's ridiculous.
Oh, hold on. The magic up there was the magic
Yeah.
down here.
Is that what it changed to down here? 106.7?
It was Magic 98.9, and then
Magic.
yes, it was a station was called Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a Magic 106.7.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
Are you contractually obligated if you're a Magic station to play Christmas music? Because it was also Magic
Probably.
107.7 in Florida.
Yeah, I think that's safe to
I'm
probably
trying hard
assume.
to carry here. It is
So anyway,
tough
she puts
sledding.
on Kiss 108. It's ridiculous. They're
Speaking of tough sled and rig, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's good.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I know, bud.
they're not
Next
close.
year, I'm going French bulldogs. These rat terriers have
Probably
it
a
out for
good
me.
Yeah, it can't hurt.
Yeah. Try every dog.
Every type of dog.
Yeah. Start small and work
So,
your way
yeah,
up.
well,
Yeah.
you got to be small. That's
Yeah.
the key.
Impossible.
They don't close 95.
50 rat terriers. Terriers don't like anybody but themselves.
That's
I got
true.
50 of them.
They're selfish.
There's all kinds of issues.
They're selfish dogs.
From jump.
right from jump.
Right from jump.
Yeah.
Sorry, go back to you.
Jump.
Boy, rat terriers. They So they don't close Route 95, which they pretended to do in this movie. It was crazy. Also,
They would never
they're
close
not closing
95.
95. We
I
have plows
love
up
this
there.
Boston talk. It's fantastic.
We like up there, like down here. I know it seems like obviously, yeah, you shut down the roads. Up there,
you would never.
You line the plows up and you just plow
Yes.
around the clock, and you're never shutting down a road ever. Like you're just not.
That's fair. That's fair.
Also, the guy has a Wrangler Sahara Unlimited. This thing is driving. You don't need a road where he's going.
Where he's
so
going.
It's true.
He just needs rocks and ducks.
That's it. Just,
all he needs.
Everyone
just stock
knows.
up on ducks and
rocks.
stretch your fingers and find a rock. The night after the storm, not only did snow not accumulate in her friends at the cabin driveway, the roads were bare. Like they could not have been drier
Perfect.
when they
Yeah.
show. Could not have been
how snow
drier.
works up there,
yeah,
right?
it just melts away.
Yeah, right away.
So both northbound and southbound. This might be the most egregious thing in this movie. It's the wrong hand, Bran. You're doing the wrong hand.
It's
All
the
right,
one that's
it's the
in-
left
it's only
on the
one.
wheel,
Use the force with it.
just right up
That's
and
right.
back down. Left hand.
That's
Come
the
The only
on.
one
Jeep
that's
you're
in the
looking
shot.
for.
My right, my left hand's not in the shot.
Yeah, you're gonna get some unwarranted.
Am I cool enough with all my ducks in my Jeep? How
You
about
practically
now?
can't even see the wave with all those Jeeps, those ducks in
Ducks
front.
are cool and part of a Jeep thing.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've seen this season in Christmas movies, and I don't think it'll get topped.
Wow.
She is making eggnog, which great.
Nog o'clock.
Fun, yeah, nog o'clock. She cracks eggs right into her hot milk and cream without tempering. Are you kidding me? Right now, you're scrambling
I
those
gotta be
eggs.
honest. I saw that.
You
I
had
did text
this?
Bran and I was like,
You guys probably talked about it,
Can
yeah.
you believe
She didn't even
Cream.
temper that thing.
eggs
Are
right in
you
the hot
kidding
cream?
me?
It's unbelievable. Like,
I'm still mad.
Who do
I
they
was hoping
think
you
they
would
are?
bring it up.
Exactly.
I had
They think
just
we're
gotten over
stupid.
it.
They think
Yeah.
we're stupid.
you're
That's
just
what
gonna,
it is.
you're just gonna
Untempered eggs.
You're just
Okay.
gonna get
Okay.
You're just
You know,
gonna
you're
get
gonna tell
a cup
those,
out
okay.
and right in the you're
All
right in the
All
cream.
right.
Scrambled
You're just
eggnog.
gonna
More like
rip the egg
scrambled
right
eggnog.
in there.
Kidding me right now?
All right, Rocky.
Boy.
Boa.
So that was ridiculous. And then she left her car in Boston for a week, which that's pretty cool. I mean, Boston's generally pretty cool about you leaving your car in the snowy streets for
There's tons
weeks.
of parking in Boston.
Yeah,
it's
that
not
thing
a big
is
deal.
that thing's perfectly safe, and it's going to be in the same place she left it.
I heard John Mulaney say every movie about Boston, the villain is Boston, and I've not been able to stop thinking about it. That's funny. And he was like, the town, the something, Goodwill Hunting. Like, it's always like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, it's funny. That's funny.
So there you go.
That's it.
I mean, I think that the biggest one is you can, in fact, be a Santa and a writer at the same time. I just want it on the record that you can do both. I know there's a lot of haters out there that'll be like, you have to do one or the other. I'm here to let you know that the Santa gig, worst case, it's 2 months out of the year. But, probably it's only a few weeks. You can do both.
Yeah.
Nothing is stopping you from being writer and Santa. You can do both. Guys, can I there's a clock here
Naga clock?
in this movie, and I want to know if you can make heads or tails of what's going on with this clock, because it's a days till Christmas clock.
Yeah.
It says days till Christmas.
And then there's the time.
And then
yeah.
there's the time, but I don't know. Is it saying, is that the thing
6 days till
is it
Christmas?
6 days? Dan, how would you make heads or tails
The
of this?
wreath?
Of this?
Where the
What
wreath?
is it? 6 days? Is that
I
what,
think
does that
it's got to be
move?
6 days.
But I don't know how that moves, because this wreath looks pretty like permanently connected to the days till
maybe you
Christmas
move
art.
it.
I don't think it is. I think the wreath and the bow are separate.
You think so?
And it just keeps popping up.
Okay, thanks. That's in
Pretty
the
cool clock,
cabin
though.
for those of you playing along at home. If you want to take a look at that,
How'd you like the cabin, Brand?
I love the cabin. At one point in the small town, a woman does walk in the background holding a nutcracker like a baby. It's a small thing, but I love her for that. Shout out to that extra
Nutcracker?
who said, give me the nutcracker. I'll show you. Let me put on a show.
A little bit.
The first time that they held hands, and you guys know this about me, I love a little finger grab or a little, this was a weird
Gotta get
hand
better way to
holding
say that.
sequence.
I love cabins. I love finger grabs.
They get
Buckies
back.
for
They
my
get
Jeep.
back. They get back to small town, and they're like, let's go check out the Christmas store. And then they just kind of go like this. Ryan, let me see your hand. They just kind of go like this. And then they look at it and they go, whoa.
Whoa.
It was
Right.
something
Moving
that
too
they
fast.
did.
Yeah.
They chose to do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they stumbled into it. It was, hey,
Yep.
let's do this thing. Well, how'd that happen? How'd that happen? Boy, howdy, Grace. It is not the time to talk to Santa when he has a kid in his lap.
Come on.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? To go up there and be like, hey, I really want to talk to you about misunderstanding. He's Santa. He's doing a job. You don't go up to
the Easter Bunny.
The Easter Bunny when he's hopping around. You don't go up to Phil Collins when he's singing a song.
When he's
They're
about to
doing
go
their
to
job.
very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Phil
You know what?
Collins on Santa.
That's great. What she's doing is the equivalent of someone going up to Phil Collins right before the drum part and in the air tonight and being like, hey, can we talk about what happened? You can't do it. Not then you can't.
Man.
Not then you can't.
I wonder if she was concussed because the temperature of the eggs. Man.
Dana?
So many. This town does selfies with Santa, which to this national reporter is just mind-blowing. She says selfies with Santa.
She's with the network.
This I got to see. And what happens in these selfies with Santa is kids get on Santa's lap in the sleigh, and with mittens on, they try to take a selfie with Santa. Which is a riot. I'd love to see how those pictures turn out because none of them did. I can tell you, spoiler alert, none of them did. This marching band is hysterical. The guy playing the snare drums, his drumsticks never get within 2 inches from the head of the drum. Never, not once. He thinks it's not going to be on camera. I'm doing the bare minimum for the bare minimum wage, and that is what's happening. And it is front and center, and he's like this, and the drum's down at the table that you can't see on the screen right now. She goes to Boston to look for this dude. She has a picture of him on her phone. She walks into the coffee shop or whatever it is. She looks at the picture. She sits down. He walks in, I believe, wearing the exact thing that he's wearing in the picture. He shows up and she's like, hey, are you such and such? I'm looking for somebody. She doesn't know that that's him.
Yeah, that was very weird.
She has a picture.
Yeah.
It's like a high def.
Yeah.
It couldn't be more him. How did it happen?
It was the opposite of what typically happens in this movie, where they immediately recognize each other even though they haven't seen each other in 20 years.
This
is the opposite.
All they had to
where
do was
they've
say,
seen
I don't have a
pics.
picture.
Yeah.
Just playing it cool.
On the way back, they're driving, and she's like, how do you know I don't have a boyfriend? And he says this line, which is a classic 17 line. I know that you don't have a boyfriend because if you did, he would have driven you to Boston. So I looked, it's about a 2.5 hour drive. And so what this guy's saying is that there's just no world that sweet little Jody can do that herself. She cannot, on her best day, get in her own car and drive herself to Boston during a work day. If you had a boyfriend, he would have taken off work and he would have driven you. Because no little lady's going to drive herself if she has a boyfriend to do it for. Wild take even by 2017 Hallmark standards.
That is yeah.
That's a wild take, man.
It's a wild take.
That's crazy. I love the fact that this movie is famous for its parade. It's famous for its Santa and famous for its Santa school. So I just want to wind that back for you. They train people how to be Santa in this town.
That's right.
They have the best Santa in this town. And they have a parade that's been going on 50 years. The parade lasts maybe an hour, and I'm going to be kind. It's probably 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're podding it. Don't worry.
Not a single student of this famous Santa school in this famous Santa town with a famous Santa parade can make it. Not a one.
Yeah.
They're all busy when the town shuts down for the parade. It is the ultimate gig. It's the ultimate gig. You would drop everything to be Santa in this parade, and they're like, we can't do it. We're fully booked out. How many gigs are going on when the parade's going on in this famous Santa school from famous Santa in famous parade town? I like, if you're going to have a parade and not have a Santa, the best case scenario is he's the only guy in town that can play it. But no, you have a Santa school where that's your job. where Santa delivers lines like, "You're putting emphasis on the wrong hoe."
Been there, bro.
Yeah, man. Dude, classic.
Yeah, don't know. I talked about the marching band, talked about the boyfriend, single Santa, blah, blah, blah. The dude is writing a book, a kid's book, but he does Uber to pay the bills. And he's like, I got to get back to Boston. And they're like, why do you have to get back right now? And he says, Christmas is the busiest time of year in Boston. A lot of people need rides because normally people in Boston would not need Uber at all. They don't need ride shares or taxis or any of that. But at Christmas, now we start gearing up. As someone that's driven for Uber, Christmas doesn't hold a candle to Halloween, New Year's, any activity where people are just going to get wasted. A Thursday afternoon.
St. Patty's Day in Boston, maybe you heard.
Yeah, St. Patty's Day. Maybe a few Lyft and Uber drivers out in St. Patty's Day in Boston. Maybe. I'm not from there. I'm just guessing that Tuesday, December 20th isn't going to be as busy as a lot of other times during the year. But this guy thinks so, obviously. This is a small thing, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm glad I have two Boston people in the room. He says, we're stuck in Worcester, which is halfway between Green River and Boston. And I looked it up, and Worcester's way closer to Boston than it is to Green River.
Hi,
Am I
Aaron.
wrong there?
Is Green River real?
Yes.
Oh,
See,
I was just
my
looking at
why
Hartford.
Is that he lives in Boston and he says Worcester wrong.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, yeah. He's like
He says it
fumbles that. It's like,
Canadian-like.
we're
Yeah.
Worcester.
Yeah. He said,
Says
and
it
when
weird.
I looked at Brandon, I was like,
Yeah, he says it weird.
Worcester.
yeah. So that was just,
Worcester.
I'm surprised it didn't come up in all
Worcester.
that Boston talk
Worcester.
Brian had.
But Worcester is way closer to Boston
It's really close to Boston.
than it is to Green River, which is like it was like double or triple the length than
really?
it was. I looked it up on a map and I was like, I'm sure that Brian's going to
Where
bring
is
this
Green
up.
River?
I don't know. I just know it's in Massachusetts. It's a place in
Is
Massachusetts.
it in Western Mass?
I don't know. As soon as I saw the distance,
No,
I was done.
isn't
looking.
it Connecticut?
Is the zip
They're
code
in Connecticut.
02134 or? Well, because once it gets out of 02134, I don't want
Yeah.
to talk about it. Zoom, zoom,
Green
zoom.
River, Mass, right there.
Oh, it is. I thought that he was in Connecticut.
There you go. Green River, Mass.
Where's Worcester?
West. This is.
Oh,
Yeah, look at that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
the complete opposite direction.
I'm so happy.
That is up by Vermont.
I'm so happy that
Oh,
I was
man.
able to bring this to the attention
I
of you
swear
two.
they were in Connecticut, weren't they?
No.
Did they
she
say
said-
Hartford? Why were they around Hartford? Weren't they around Hartford
Well,
for
if
something?
they were in Connecticut, that would make more sense
I
because
think-
that
I
is a long
swear
way
they were
from
in
Boston.
Connecticut.
Is there a Green River, Connecticut?
Well, I didn't think they were in Connecticut because when they are at the friend's house and they get snowed in,
Don't mention the cabin. Brandon can't handle this.
all of the roads south are closed.
Yep.
But they can go back north, and so they were going back to Green River. They couldn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I didn't think they were in Connecticut. I thought they were somewhere north of Boston because they couldn't go south to keep going to Boston. They had to turn around basically. But saying anything in Western Mass is close to Boston.
It's crazy. It's halfway between that and Worcester. So like Worcester's halfway between that point and Boston.
No.
What?
Worcester, absolutely. If you had to go to Worcester before you went to Boston, you're going out of your way, first of all, from Green River. But Western
depending on
Mass
where
is
Green
basically its own state.
Yeah.
It is-
It's like the
it is
rest of
its
New York
own
and
thing.
Manhattan. Like it just is not the same.
Weird.
02134.
So lastly, before we move on, Santa's not at the end of this parade. All the kids are leaving. You need to know that right off. Santa's got to be at the end of the parade. We know that. We've hosted a parade before.
We sure have.
And then last but not least, at the end of this movie, he is signing a book and he takes a break with the line out the door. He's like, I'll be back in a few minutes. I just got a quick propose to my girlfriend. And he says that you need to look at the dedication because in the second print, it changed. So we, in this situation, he wrote a Christmas book in 11 months, got it printed, and it all sold out, and he had a second print already done, and it's still before that Christmas season. Very impressive by that guy, and also impossible.
Buy our book. It's time for what the Hallmark story. What could have been maybe some have. Brian, what are you still wondering about, pal?
I actually wanted to see the book. I was hoping they were going to show some illustrations because she seems like a pretty good artiste, if I do say so myself, which is funny because in the the Holiday in Handcuffs episode,
Yeah.
you were complaining about how the
and
art
then
is always
she's
terrible.
not a bad artist.
And
yeah.
her paintings were great. So I want to see some of that book. Let's open that thing up. Let's get a little look.
Let's open that thing up. Yeah, I think the biggest one for me, I don't want to keep harping on it, this cabin.
Oh, my gosh.
This amazing cabin. If somebody could, like, we have such generous listeners, and they send us all sorts of goodies. What if someone sent us a cabin?
Wow.
Oh,
Not
man.
a bad
Have we
idea.
Oh,
thought about it?
We've never even thought
Have
of it.
we thought about
We
it?
should,
It's
it
a
sounds
cabin.
like we should.
Yeah, we call it the Bramble House. We do a whole thing. I don't know. It's just an idea. If someone could send us a cabin,
Man,
that'd
I
be
love
great.
that idea.
Thanks. 135 Edinburgh. Sweet
Yeah.
102.
Edinburgh? You mean
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, right?
I don't know. Man.
Well, we should find the space where we want the cabin to end
Yeah,
up.
you
We don't
don't
want
wanna
it here.
see it
Oh, that's true. You can't
Let's
ship
find
it
some
here.
land first.
They might get
so
mad.
hold off on shipping it, but acquire it. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Dano?
Yeah, there's a huge one in this movie, and the fact that it hasn't been brought up at all is just kind of egregious. At one point in this movie, while Jodie Sweetin's character has to manage this full parade and also a midlife crisis and everything else, this guy comes up, and he's part of a quartet of carolers, and the parade is starting soon, and he's holding a giant hat, and he says, the baritone refuses to sing if he has to wear the hat. What? It's a Christmas parade. You've known about this parade. It's been on your
missed that
calendar.
line.
It's been on your calendar for months. It's the 50th anniversary. The national news is here, and all of a sudden, you're too good for a hat.
Baritone's got to get over that.
Typical
There's
baritone.
no way that this baritone
That is
didn't know what he or she was signing up for. Didn't know. There's no way they didn't know. They say the baritone refuses to sing if he has to wear the hat.
But also, if that's something that the baritone has made perfectly clear, they should have found another baritone.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
And
I don't know.
all
I don't
we
want to
get-
put all the
all
onus
we
here.
get is one line, and you act like you're just not going to talk anymore about this.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
the
it's
national news,
it's
the 50th
possible.
anniversary.
It's possible the baritone has a history with the hat, and they should have.
Yeah.
They should have.
Yeah,
made some
absolutely.
I would love
accommodations
to
there.
know one way or the other. I would love to know.
Speaking
Only
of wanting,
baritone, there's a baritone school in the town, but they're all busy.
they're all busy.
Yeah.
Speaking of wanting to know, I would love to know about some of these double deckers that have signed up for BrambleGemPlus.com. Is there any way that we could find out about those people, Dano?
Oh, I think we could. In fact, if you go to BrambleGemPlus.com, sign up for the double-decker tier or higher, this could be you. Brian here does a deep dive on what
so
some of
deep.
our double-deckers are getting into. And this week's double-decker is Maggie Mallon.
Maggie.
Maggie Mallon.
Good old Maggie Mallon.
Good old Maggie Mallon.
Maggie, this is a little ironic. She has, it's summertime foods.
Yeah.
People get into things.
Love.
And
People do get into things. That's
yeah,
true.
She's come up with the foolproof, I guess.
I think it's foolproof. What was
way.
the other option there?
Unlike the
foolproof or
What was the- it literally has to be full.
foolproof.
Are you having a stroke?
Foolproof. I don't know why I'm stuck on that.
Brandon, is it foolproof or
Fuel-proof?
foolproof? Is it foolproof or foolproof? Dude,
Full-
here,
full-
listen
foolproof.
carefully.
Full.
Foolproof or foolproof?
Fool or full?
Which is it? Full or full?
or
full or full?
fool?
Full.
Foolproof.
It's full or fool.
Oh my God.
Foolproof way of picking watermelon because everybody's got these theories on it's
Because of
got to
her
be.
last name?
Ironically, I think this is why she went this direction.
okay.
So obviously, Maggie Mallon, very close to watermelon.
Melon. Right.
So she
Melon.
really dedicated a lot of her life to figuring out how to pick the perfect melon, watermelon. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's got to be not too white, not too yellow. You want it like flat on this side, that side. She just goes strictly with the hand to melon ratio. And it's a really straightforward, simple method that Maggie's really perfected and it's working great for her. And she'll accept no other methods.
What's it called?
It's just her handsy melon theory. It's really not a crazy
The hand to melon?
hand to melon.
Hand to melon.
And yeah, she's handsy melon, hand to melon, whatever you want to do. It's
Which
just like
is it,
she just
Brian?
uses her hands to pick the melons.
And she is selling this, has a business, or
No,
she
just promoting it. She
she's
just wants people to
promoting
know.
that her method
hands
of
to
choosing
melon
a melon, the hand
method.
to melon method.
Yep, is the
Is
best.
the best.
Better than any other melon picking method that might be out there. That's all. She's just letting you know. Two hands
Right.
on the melon. You measure it all the way lengthwise. Very important in this case, the length from, what is that, your pinky to your other pinky. Measure the melon, take it home, cut it up, feed it to your family. It's perfect every time.
The primary distinction between foolproof and foolproof lies in the meanings.
This is what I'm looking for.
Foolproof is not a standard phrase.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
got
It's
that,
and should
Maggie?
generally be avoided in favor of
Foolproof.
foolproof.
Oh.
Can we get back to this melon situation?
Yeah.
What is happening,
Yeah,
Brian?
it's just there's just a lot of controversy
Am I missing?
around.
Is a punchline coming, or is this it?
No, this is it. This is just something that's just an important
What's her
way.
name again?
Maggie Mellon.
Okay.
She's got the perfect watermelon picking strategy. That's all. It's just an important thing because during the summertime, people will argue they know how to pick a perfect watermelon. They don't, unless they're using Maggie's melon picking
Where are
strategy.
all the wok restaurants?
You heard skillets?
Okay. We did it.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow with Lifetime. Patrick's going to be joining us. We'll be back Thursday. ABC Family. Ryan's going to be joining us. And we'll be back Friday for a special diss list. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, we first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.